I just want to say I listened to Intelligence Squared today. They have a lot of debates. This one in particular really got my attention. It had to do with more clicks, fewer bricks in the educational system. Now, what they mean by that are the clicks are on the internet, online educational stuff, or they have a word called like moot, which is a multi-online educational teaching style where one teacher will take on like 40,000 students or something. Or the professors or teachers who talk in favor of keeping the bricks, keeping students coming to lecture halls as the integral part of the learning experience. And, I guess I'd be ruining it if I said what they came to a conclusion of. What the format is they make the arguments, two people make four arguments for online education, two make their arguments against that, and in turn for the education to remain within a building, and then an audience sits in on it. And this happened at Columbia University. I heard it on Pocast, but it occurred at Columbia University just I think a couple of weeks ago. And then they needed to change the audience's mind because the audience is the one who decides. I don't know. It's not like it's a mystery novel. There are four. They've made the argument for saying they made it for the online education stuff. They made a great argument for it and convinced the audience. So in the end result, more people are in agreement that online education is going to only improve and is the future. It's better to get education with the technology that we have now. Some people were arguing, one of the guys is arguing that it's a failed system, educating people in the buildings where you have the authoritarian teacher just lecturing while the students sit there quietly. That's kind of a failed system. It's been in place for 1,000 years, but it doesn't really help people retain. In fact, there's a professor who he said he teaches physics, and he asked students 2 years after what they remember, and they only remember in general 10% of what they learned after 2 years. So it's really not that great, you know. How do you improve on a system that's not that great? I went through college. I took all kinds of classes. It was interesting. You know, that's the thing. There's some classes that may do better on the internet than in a room with other students. Like, the labs. I think you might still have to conduct labs within a room of some kind, or maybe you call it research or something. Certain types of classes can be best done in a classroom setting, while others could be conducted on the internet. Maybe reading courses, math. You can do a lot of that on the internet, and I mean, I found it's been a lot of fun to learn on the internet. I prefer going to the discussion forums on Craigslist. It's silly. It's one of the cheapest, oldest systems in place going on to that forum, but it's really nice. You could just argue with random people about certain. You just pick a topic, go in there and see what the most current debate is, and then if I wanted to input, I want to do a little research before I make my input if it's something that's really over my head and it's helpful. Whereas going into a lecture and listening to somebody talk about the subject can get a little boring. I feel like I want to form comments or questions and put them on instantaneously. It's that satisfaction